Yo, what's up, guys? So today I'm going to be giving you my opinions on the tier list system of the schools right now in max level PvP on Wizard101. So, for the sake of this video, I'm going to be splitting up life and fire into two categories. Life, I'm going to be splitting up into healing life and attacking life, meaning no heals, just straight up hits. And then I'm going to be splitting up fire into trap stack and overtime. Okay? So, first on the tier list, I'm going to pull out a notepad here. I'm going to put healing life. So I think it is shown, obviously, by the data on the leaderboards, as you can see. Okay. Top 7 players, 3 of them are healing lives. Okay. So healing life has a lot of upsides to it. You auto win pretty much against ices, balances, balances, attacking lives if you match an attacking life. Trap stack fire, you almost can't lose to. Storm is a good matchup. And here's the thing: you have some people are scared. You have 3 bad matchups. You can just throw on ward to, right? And now this might be, oh, Matthew, you're being biased because this is your school. I don't see how you can argue that it's not the best. I mean, I did attacking life season 1 for the most part, and was 75-31. I'm doing healing life now. I'm 37-2. I mean, and you're seeing this. You're seeing a bunch of no-name people coming out of nowhere, with a healing life, just running the queue. Now, he's not a healing life, but the other two, you're seeing healing life everywhere. People don't want to fight them, and that's fine. I understand people don't want to carry the counters because, oh, I have to carry, cards in my deck to counter strat. They don't want to do it. That's fine. But until they start doing it, okay, healing life is going to probably run the table. So, secondly, I have ice. Okay, ice, undisputable. Okay, you have 77 resist if you want, 74 if you run a mastery to every school. Let me see if does anyone have it on. No, okay. I can't show you the stats right now because I don't have them. Oh, maybe he has them. Yeah. So like, look at this. He's mighty ice warded, but he has 74 resist with 140 damage. Realistically, I mean, he's not losing to ices. Like stuff like this. This is ridiculous. The fact that this is even allowed, he has perfect accuracy. He gets 30 pierce, 500 block, perfect pips, or near perfect pips, good P serve, everything. Ice gets everything. They have incredible spell elements with Colossus and Snowman. It's Shatterhorn even, if they feel inclined to use that. Incredible. Ice, easily number 2. So number 3, I have Balance. I forgot. Here, let me. Okay, so I have Balance at number 3. So Balance has so many tools. They have Gaze, which is good. You have Aura Pop. You have Burn, Lore, Mock, Hydra. You can run a Fire Mastery, Meltdown, set up the Hydra. There's so many good ways to play on a Balance. You can run Eye of Vigilance to counter blades. It's super good now with the change, because the way it used to work like scales. You take blades off them and give them pips, but then now they switched it. So if you try blade and I Eye of Vigilance, I get 3 pips back. It's like I'm taking off a trap. It's fantastic. Yeah, so balance, I mean, shift. They have shift. They have so many options. You can brace spam, and if I infoul back, or if I 6 round or 4 round to try to counter your brace, you pop it, you get 1,000 damage, and you're just way ahead for 2 pips. It's ridiculous. So, assuming you pass the play wall to get pay or play wall to get lore master, I think balance easily number 3. You could argue number 2 over ice, but we'll leave that to discussion. So number 4 and number 5, I'm grouping together because you can interchange these incredibly easy. I have Myth and Storm. So Myth has the best Rochambeaus in the game. You have the best conditional, arguably, in the game with Myth Gen. You have 8 Pip Saga, which does a lot. You have good minions if you'd like to use them. You have hidden bubbles. You can try shield spam, literally shield every round. You have so many options, and you can play defensive while also setting up the best gen condition in the game. So you can make offensive and defensive moves at the same time. You have betrayal. You can run TC betrayal and stack traps. So if someone also uses those traps, those shields against you. You can punish it by getting 2 different buffs off the same shield. Like, it's ridiculous. And Storm obviously should go without discussion. The reason, and I'll make this point again, the reason that you don't see as many storms on the first page is because the most cute schools, which are Life and Ice right now, counter Storm. So you're going to see them lower. But objectively, Storm is in the 4 or 5 spot. You have to play without error, and if you play without error on a Storm, it is an incredibly strong school that you can beat anyone with. And if you throw it on top of some good minion RNG, then Storm is incredible. And that's what I say. I honestly think 6 out of the 7 schools are perfect, don't need to be touched. Just maybe add some different cards, switch up the meta a little bit, and that's all that needs to happen. So behind Myth and Storm, I have Death. Now, Death, the reason why Death is so low is because Death is incredibly linear. Now, if you allow a Death to play it at its full potential, Death is incredible. If you can Shad, Poison, and Oni at the correct times, Death is nearly unbeatable because the ability to drain back when you need to, drains do a lot. You can Shrike, you can 6-round hit and bubble, Bone Dragon. There's so many good utilities, but it is extremely predictable. Now, you could say that about every school, but Death only has 4 options, pretty much. So if you can counter those 4 options, then you leave a Death useless. So that's why Death is low. Death is another one of the schools where I'd say doesn't really need to be touched. Maybe if they do a widespread touch on Spirit Shields, then I could see that. So I'll write, okay. Storm, Myth, Death. Then that would maybe touch Death a little bit. But I feel like Death has always been in a pretty good spot. Since 5th Age, for sure. I think Death, you've had different options. Back when Minnow was much better when you had Minnow because there was so much more counterplay. But I think Death is in a good spot. They have incredible stats. You have the ability to ward, which is a big factor. So I think Death is probably in my 5-6 spot. So after Death, I'm putting Attacking Life. Now, this is my opinion personally. I think if you have Max Lumi, I only have tier 4, but if you have Max Lumi, and you have Nully Hat, stuff like this, you can get incredible stats on an Attacking Life. You can get 140 damage with 40 pierce, have 57 uni-res, and still be able to double ward. So having 140 damage and 40 pierce, and you can ward to your 2 worst matchups, which you could argue probably are I have the pet. Yeah, Storm and Ice, Death. You could just swap Ice for Death. I think Storm is definitely one of your harder matchups because the lower resist that Life has just gets wiped out by a Storm. You could definitely argue that Attacking Life is super sustainable right now. I think if you have Imp, Pierce, Enchanted Colossus, or not Colossus, Centaur, stuff like that, you can combo extremely well on top of being able to run 8 main deck bubbles if you want to, and on hidden bubbles and stuff like that. You can run Myth Master, you can Battle Master, anything. You have built-in trap counters that help you kill trap stackers. The Trap to Blade is phenomenal. You can combo that with Scales to completely shut someone out. I think Attacking Life is definitely solid. There might be a few, maybe some stronger cards, maybe a different Shad, because Dogs loses out value. You lose value because of the Pacify, so you lose a little bit of damage for a Pacify, but minions aren't really incredible in a Life right now unless you're healing. I don't use minions while I'm healing anyway, but when you're playing Attacking Life, minions aren't great because they just kind of heal blade spam and sank and change your damage bubble. And then the Caddy Absorb constantly gets stolen. And if you steal it back, if they steal it and you don't have a steal back, you have to Lumi or Wand and waste rounds to take that Absorb off. So maybe if the new world brings a solid damage Shad for Life, they'd be even better. You could play more linear. You can know how much your damage is doing. I feel like that could favor some people playing, especially favor people coming into the game and trying out offensive Life instead of just defaulting to healing. So below healing or Attacking Life, I'll put Attacking Life. I have Trap Stack Fire. Now the reason why this is so low. And while some people may be like, oh, Snapdragon Fire is insane, you just trap gen. Yes, while the fire gen is incredible, the biggest flaw to trap stack fire is how easy it is to counter. Okay, if someone is trap stack fire, they have anywhere between 6 to 10 main deck fuels. Okay, so if I have trap counters and I trap counter every single potent fuel, item card fuel, okay, the most traps they can get on me is 2. If I win bubble and I'm constantly hitting them while they're trying to trap me, then it's game over. You can blade stack against trap stack fire because they have to run myth mastery because Ellie shields exist. Okay, you can't pierce an Ellie shield. Trap stack fires will carry like 15 pierces. You can't pierce it. You have to shatter it. And if they don't run myth mastery, then you can just spam Ellie shield, and you can put multiple blades up. You can counter like a death can. I mean, death naturally will run a lot of Ellie shields for Doom Oni, and they can Ellie shield spam, put up a couple blades, and just bone dragon. That's what I've seen a lot of people doing, and it is incredibly strong. There are very obvious flaws to trap stack fire. And a good player, not even a good player, you're just someone semi new to the game, learning how to PvP with Rochambeau. If you learn how to time the counters right, you will decimate trap stack fire. That is the biggest problem, especially because some people are running the new Void deck, the Void deck that gives the fuel. They are only getting 4 potents. Everyone carries 6 to 7 trap counters, sometimes more. If you're taking off the potents and taking off the item cards, they're not going to get any good traps on you, and you can't lose at that point. It's easy. And then OT fire is going to be very last. I think this is very predictable. I think everyone agrees with this purely because of the stats. Okay, merciless gear for fire sucks. It has been bad ever since the gear audit. In comparison, it's terrible. The raid gear, terrible. Every single piece sucks. Highland isn't worth it because you lose out on too much damage and pierce. You can ward, but you have a pit. You can fizzle. You can pip fail. Like, there are so many bad parts on top of a lot of people just having a lot of res right now. Brace spamming, shifts. Every school has a shift. Every school either has a natural shift, Kraken, even better than a shift. I mean, so many options to counter OTs. They don't have strong OTs. I mean, Salamanders and Ashen Bones are kind of your best OTs, and Salamander's gonna break a shield. If I Salamander into a shield and it gets shifted, I'm losing out on so much damage, and you pretty much automatically lose at that point. So OT fire is probably last. So just to sum it up, healing life probably the best in terms of like widespread across the table matches. Then ice, balance, storm of myth you can discuss, and then death, attacking life, trap stack fire, and then OT fire. So yeah, I will be releasing a video probably around the same time about how you should go about running healing life, because I've seen a lot of people trying to start up doing this strat. So I'm going to be making a video shortly about how to break into the barrier, what gear you should run, stuff like that. So I will see you guys in the next one.